Hello everybody, it's Mr. Q again. What's up? I hope you guys are staying safe and having fun. Today, we are continuing with part 3 of our travel series. And part 3 of the travel series is buying, paying, and reserving your travel and accommodations. Today, we're going to be focusing on the accommodation and the visa process. All right, let's get into it. Paying for and reserving your hotel is an important part of your travel budget. And hopefully you've already researched and decided what kind of accommodation or where you will stay you want. Do you want to stay at a hotel where you have privacy and you have security? Or do you want to stay at a hostel, which is going to cost less than a hotel usually, but you sacrifice privacy? And the interesting thing about both of those are, although occasionally they might feel very similar, the hotel, you tend to be more to yourself, and in a hostel, you tend to interact with other travelers. So if interacting with other travelers is important to you, especially if you're traveling by yourself and you want someone to go see some of the cool things in that city with you, then you might want to consider staying at a hostel, even though it might not be as nice as the hotel, and even though you're going to lose probably a lot of your privacy, because you'll be staying in a room with other people and you'll be having to share a bathroom with other people. So where do you want to stay? What kind of accommodation do you want? Maybe you'll be fortunate, and where you're going, you'll have family and friends and you can stay with them. So once again, maybe not as much privacy, but at least you'll be with people you know. So where are you going to stay? How much is that going to cost you? And once again, just like your flights, you can research the costs of staying at a hotel or hostel on the websites and on applications. And once again, I like to use trip.com. But I also like to use Booking.com, and if I know I want to stay in a hostel, I might use hostel bookers. Or if you want to stay in a house, maybe you could try booking an Airbnb. And there are many, many websites and apps you can use to try to find the accommodation that best suits you and your needs. So once again, many of these apps have frequent booking programs. So that means that as you book more and more, you can get rewards. You can get a free hotel stay, or you can get upgrades to better rooms, or you can just get a discount on the room that you're in now. So just like flying, it's important to sign up for the frequent booking program. You can see how in Booking.com that you have to select where you're going, the dates you'll be there, how many rooms and people, and you can see how I have benefits from being a frequent booker. You can also sort and filter your search requests just like you do with the airplane. You can search based on price, right? From lowest to highest. Are you trying to save as much money as possible? That's a good way to sort it. You can also put filters when you sort, and you can sort it by whether or not Wi-Fi is included. You can sort it based on whether or not a breakfast is included. And You can also sort it on whether or not you have to pay up front. So there are some hotels on these sites and apps that you don't have to pay up front. You can pay when you get to the hotel. That can be good and that can be bad. Sometimes it's just nice to have your accommodation already paid for and you don't have to worry about it. You just check in. But if you maybe don't have enough money right now or don't want to spend the money right now, then pay when you get at the hotel. But you have to pay attention because not all hotels will allow you to book it now but pay later. Many want you to pay now when you book now. So you have to pay attention to that. This is very helpful also if you're applying for your visa and you don't necessarily know exactly where you want to stay or how long you want to stay or whatever. So you can just book and reserve a room and print that up so that you'll have that information and that you can use for your visa, and then you can change it later. And this is also another benefit of being a frequent booker is oftentimes there won't be a change fee or a fee for canceling. So when you're looking at the website and apps at which hotel you might like, it's good to look at the pictures and you can see what the rooms are supposed to look like. And you can usually, there are pictures that show you what the outside of the hotel looks like and what the common areas of the hotel look like and what the front desk looks like. So you can know what to expect when you get there. Make sure you check out the reviews for the hotel and see, are people having a hard time? Are they enjoying their stay? Is there anything wrong that they're pointing out that's important to you? If you're young and you want to have parties all the time, and some of the comments in the reviews are saying that there are a lot of people that come in late at night because they've been partying, well, that might be for you because maybe you don't care about that because you're going to be one of those people. So you just have to take those into account when looking into your reservation. You should also pay attention to the check-in and check-out times. Many hotels don't want you to check in before 2 p.m. That way it gives them time to clean the room from the person who was just there, right? And usually you have to check out around 10 o'clock, maybe 11. Now, the cool thing is, with frequent booking, sometimes you can get free extended checkout, which means you don't have to check out till 12 or 1, or even 2 o'clock sometimes. Or sometimes we just have to ask, if you can have a free extended checkout. And sometimes hotels will do that for you, especially if they're not busy and they're not full. So you want to think about those kind of things, including like, do they have a pool? Is that important to you? Maybe it's not. Think about another thing that's important is how you can pay, because it's important because maybe you want to pay with a credit card. Maybe that hotel doesn't accept credit cards. This happens. In many countries, some hotels don't accept credit cards. They only accept cash, which means, one, you can't pay in advance online for it. And then two, that means you have to get cash to pay for it when you get to the country. So this is very important that you need to pay attention to. But frequently, when you're looking at a hotel, there will be information about the hotel, how to get to the hotel, and whether or not there's an airport shuttle available, whether it's free or not. Sometimes they have an airport shuttle, but you have to pay. Sometimes they have the airport shuttle, and it's free. You just have to pay attention to that. And usually they will have a map so you can see exactly where the hotel is when you're looking at it. And sometimes if you're using an app like Booking.com, you can use the app to find places. So you're going to the city, you look at the map for that city, and you can see all the places that are available. You can zoom in and zoom out and find an area of the city that you like and zoom in and see if there's a reasonably priced place that you want to stay in that area. So look at the map, see what's nearby, see what's involved in getting to the hotel or wherever you're staying. And plus, maybe the good thing about looking at the map is you can see where other points of interest are, and maybe you want your hotel to be near that point of interest. Like if you're staying in France and you want to be able to see the Eiffel Tower from your room, then you need to make sure that you're staying in a part of the city where that's possible. You know, and you have to do some research to make sure that that's an available for your hotel, because some hotels might be in the right area, but they might not have a view, right? Or maybe you just want to be close to the Eiffel Tower. So that's okay. It doesn't matter if you have a view, you're close. So just pay attention to all these things while you're booking and looking for reserving your accommodation. Make sure you set your filters and your sorting options so that you can see the lowest prices at the top of the list, so you don't have to search through the whole list looking for what you want. Once you find a hotel that you want, search through the pictures and decide whether or not it looks like a place you want to stay. And then you can look at the prices and what's included in the room and what's available for you, and how many people can stay in the room. And don't forget to look at the check-in and check-out and what other things are available. And use the map to help you find places nearby or to find out exactly where your hotel is located. And you can find some interesting sites based on their site too. The most important thing that you're going to need to buy or pay for when planning your trip and booking your trip is your visa, especially if you're traveling internationally. And it's very important to understand how the visa process works. Many countries, if you're from a big Western country like me from America, there are many countries I can go to. Well, I don't have to apply in advance. I can just show up and they'll stamp my passport. So, all right, cool, no problem. Other countries, even for me coming from America, I still need to apply online. And then when I get there, they'll give me a stamp. But there are many countries where I have to apply in advance to be able to get a visa to go to that country. China, Russia, there's many countries. Those are just a few. And it's very important that you know how much time you need in advance to apply for these visas. Sometimes it takes weeks or months. So you got to plan and know how long does it take to get the visa? How long does it take to apply? How long does it take to get it? You have to send away your passport. Maybe you need to do an interview. But the first place to start is online. Do a search. Visa for American to Russia or wherever. And your search will provide you with links to go to, let's just continue using Russia, go to the Russian embassy to apply for a visa. And you can apply online. You just have to follow the steps and the links that are provided to you. You have to pay attention to what kind of visa you're applying for. Because if you apply for the wrong type of visa, that might cause you a problem when you try to enter the country. But normally if you're going on vacation, you just want to apply for a tourist visa. And so usually it's not too confusing to figure out which visa you need if you're a tourist. But if you're trying to be a student, if you're trying to work in the country, that's where it gets a little bit more confusing. You also need to pay attention to how long and how many visits does your visa that you're applying for provide you. Is it a single entry visa? How long can you stay there? Many visas, you can have multiple entries, which means you can go there for your vacation and then you can go back. Or maybe you're going to go to several places, but you want to go there first, you want to go to some other countries, but then you want to go back. So that means you need multiple entries. That way you can enter and exit and enter that country multiple times. But if you're only going to that one country, then you only need a single entry visa, especially if you don't plan on going back anytime soon, before your visa expires. So sometimes the cost of the multi-entry visas are more expensive and you might not need it. So why bother paying for it? On the other hand, multi-entry visas tend to last longer and provide you with more entries. So it's nice to have the option to, hey, you know what? This was a really cool country. I want to come back next year. And then you can, and you don't have to reapply for another visa. So keep that in mind, especially if it's not that much more expensive, you might as well get the better visa that lasts longer and has more entries. But basically, all you have to do for most countries is fill out an online form and submit some pictures and pay the fee. Sometimes you will need to go to an embassy and provide them with documentation and your passport, and they might have an interview with you to make sure that you're only going there for a vacation and to make sure that you have enough money for your vacation. Many countries don't like it when people try to go to their country and try to marry somebody from their country, maybe trying even to stay in the country. That's why they tend to be much more strict. So, fill out your forms, tell the truth, have your documents ready when you fill out the forms, and make sure you don't forget any forms if you need to go for an interview. Pay the fees, and hopefully within a couple of weeks, you'll have your visa. Here you can see the search that I use to find U.S. visas. It takes me to the travel.state site, in which case I can search for a visitor visa or tourist visa, and then there's information about the visa, and I can click on the link to go to apply for that particular visa, and then I can pay for the visa. Here you can see an American visa costs $160. All right, hope you guys enjoyed learning about reserving and booking your hotel room and the process of getting your visa today. Let's review what we talked about. Firstly, just like when you get an airline reservation and booking, you go online. It's the easiest way to do it. Or use an app. And once again, I like to at least start my research on my hotel with trip.com. But I also use booking.com very frequently. But there's plenty out there that you could use, including WeChat, that will allow you to book things. Make sure you have your frequent booking account number and use it when you book your accommodations. Once again, you want to get the benefits for the money you're paying. So don't forget to use it so that you can get those benefits. And, make sure you pay attention to what's included in the frequent flyer or booking account. Do you get discounts? Do you get upgrades? Do you get a free meal? These are important things that might get you to select one hotel over another hotel. Make sure you sort your hotels by price or by distance from where you want to be. Make sure you realize whether or not it has a pool if you care about that. Whether or not the Wi-Fi is available in your room. Whether or not you can have a breakfast included. Look at the pictures. Make sure that the rooms seem nice and up to your standard of what you want. And don't just go for the name, right? Because sometimes hotels with good names, maybe they don't necessarily have the best rooms available for the price. So make sure you do the research. Make sure you sort them. Use the map, and then you can see the whole city, and you can see the prices of different places all at one glance instead of having to search individual. Once you pick a hotel, also look at the map and see what interesting things are near your hotel. Maybe you'll have a good view of something from your hotel, which can also be very important, right? Look at the reviews. Make sure that the hotel is getting good reviews. And pay attention to the check-in and check-out times, right? What time is the earliest you can check in? What time is the latest you can check out? Because it frequently varies from hotel to hotel. And make sure you pay attention to what kind of payment is accepted at the hotel. Do they take credit cards? Is it cash only? Can you pay online in advance? Or can you wait until you get to the hotel and pay then? So these are all things that you should be paying attention to when booking your hotel room. Visas are very important, so don't forget about them. Go to the website for the country that you want to visit. Just doing a simple search on the internet will find you that link. Apply for your tourist or visitor visa. And you can do all of this online, but you may have to take that application in physically and have an interview and at the actual embassy. So you need to pay attention to how much it will cost. Like if you want to come to America, the fee is $160. If you want to go somewhere else, the fees vary. And the fees vary depending on what country you're from. So people from America tend to have to pay a little bit more for their visas than people from other countries. I don't know why. So make sure you fill out all the forms and take all the forms with you if you need to. You may also want to take these forms with you when you get to the airport. That way, if anybody at the airport or at customs, when you get to the country you're going to, have any questions, you can just show them what you have. No problem. But usually, once you get that stamp in your passport saying that you have a visa, that's all you need. So get your visa so you don't have any problems at the airport or at your country that you're arriving at. Today, I want you guys to be writing down what you want from a hotel that you stay in, right? Or a hostel, whatever, it doesn't matter. The trip that we've been thinking about lately in this series that you've been doing your homework for, what kind of hotel do you want? Do you want it to be a luxurious hotel with giant rooms and whirlpool jacuzzis in the room? Pretty cool, but probably also very expensive. But it's okay, it doesn't matter. What do you want? I want you to write down 10 things about what you expect from your accommodation when you travel. All right? Once you've written those things down, share it with your classmates. Have a discussion about what they want. Compare it to what you want and see if you guys want some of the same things. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you guys continue to stay safe and have fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.